Hey, everybody. Lindsay Anderson here. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you all can hear me. Welcome to Wednesday. Wednesday, it's a great day. Hope everybody's doing good today. I wanted to pop on today and talk real briefly about vulnerability. I am going to talk on this topic because I just got off of a Netflix reality show that premiered in January. And I mean, the fact is, when you're on reality TV, they are videoing you for 3 weeks straight. So just like stop, take a breath, and ask yourself if I was videoed over the past 3 weeks, and then some awesome editors came and edited all of my most emotional moments out of those 3 weeks, would I also be vulnerable? And the answer is yes. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. Did you guys see The Trust? Tell me, did you see The Trust? Hey, everybody. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube. I'm on Instagram, and we're talking about vulnerability. So I was on The Trust. And as I said, you never know how that edit's going to come back, but there were other emotional times. Everybody in the house actually went through a lot of emotions because here you are, you're away from your comfort zone. You don't have your family. As you can see, it drove me to rocking back and forth, which I don't really do. It is a pressure cooker of a situation, but I really thrived on that. I think it was really exciting, and I really enjoyed my time in the house. Hey, everybody, did I cut my hair? No, it's just in a pony today. Yeah, it's just in a pony today. Thanks for asking. Hey, everybody, how you doing? So if you did watch The Trust, I would love to know in the comments who you were rooting for. Okay, I'm not naive enough to think y'all were rooting for me. Hold on, I gotta draw off these glasses real quick. One thing I really liked about the show is that there was so many people you could root for, like regardless of what your history was or where you were in life, there was always someone to root for on The Trust. So I'm curious if you'll tell me who you were voting for. But there was a couple of memorable moments about being vulnerable. The first was when I shared with Jake about my ex-husband. Now, let me tell you where this is coming from, okay? I was born and raised very devout LDS in a very small town in Idaho, Southeast Idaho. So I remember when we got our very first stoplight, okay? It wasn't even a one stoplight town until the stoplight came. And a big part of that religion, and I believe other religions, when they're practiced, like in practice, we're imperfect human beings and we kind of can take some stuff from religion. And in practice, it doesn't look that great, right? Like it appears to be, I'm saying something to your face, but I'm something different behind closed doors. But as long as I get credit at church for being a good person, then hopefully I can get up to heaven somehow. And when I left the Mormon church, that was a really big moment in my life. That was in my 20s. Back to my ex-husband. We were married in the LDS temple. I waited for him on his mission. We were high school sweethearts. He came back from his mission. We actually he was actually a kind of a serial cheater that entire time. And I'm 20. I left the church and I didn't know my way. I couldn't find my way out. And I couldn't find my way out of that. And the secret was, back to The Trust, the secret was that I actually ended up cheating on him with my current husband, who I am now happily married to for the last 20 years. We have 3 kids. You make mistakes. Certainly not something I would do now, not something I recommend anyone do at that time in my life. Just like when I'm in the house, I'm making the decisions in the very best way that I can based on my life's circumstances. So vulnerability. Now, at that point, there was a real pivotal point in the show. You got to know this about those secrets, you guys, is it wasn't like we filled out a form and they're like, what secret do you want to be shown on episode 1? No. When you get on reality TV, there's lots and lots of interviews, and maybe 5 or 6 interviews with different people at different times. Are kind of intense. And this interview where I divulged that about my ex-husband was 3 interviews back. I remember saying it in the middle of sharing with the story producer about like my upbringing and my Mormon upbringing and those kind of things. And I remember leaving that interview and telling my husband, like, I really brought that up. There it is. So I kind of was never asked about it again, tiptoed around it. Here it is on the very first episode of The Trust. Who here cheated on their first husband with their previous husband? Now, just and this is important, okay, because I was vulnerable at that place. I had two options. I could hide and let the house guests try to decide who that secret belonged to, and it could sound a whole lot worse than it was. Or I could stand up and take responsibility and be vulnerable and let them know the story and the real context behind why I did what I did 20 years ago, which is what I chose to do. And I know enough about sales. Yeah, I'm going to get to sales now. Okay. I know enough about sales and business and relationships and how that goes is that when you take ownership of being like a real human being with problems and issues, then it makes you that much more likable and trustable. So I took that opportunity in the show. If you didn't see it, tell me if you saw it. I'd love to see you guys. Oh, I see comments here. Hey, everybody, how you doing? How you doing? Did you guys see the show? I wanted to know if they edited the show in a way that made you different, or was it in your authentic self? Thank you so much for asking that question here on Instagram. That was certainly me. Okay, like I said, look at your past 3 weeks. You know, you're annoyed that the dog peed on the carpet. Your kids are driving you crazy. Your biggest account canceled, whatever goes on in anyone's life, right? The principal calls. And you know, we're emotional beings. And so was that me? Yeah. Was it an edited version of me? Of course. It was. I am more than like that character on the show. So but I can't deny that I did those things. There's context that is missing. There's context that is missing. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. I love the show because everyone was so different. It felt as if they didn't vet anyone. It was so chaotic. I loved it. I know. I'm so glad you're a fan. Thank you so much. It's nice to meet you. That's what I thought. You're entering this house and there are literally people from all walks of life, like with way different backgrounds, way different like perceptions on things. And I think it's been really interesting. So back to sales. I knew so when you're in a sales situation, just like when I'm in the situation on the trust, okay, I knew it would build trust to be an authentic person and like just that was me. Okay, that was me. And on a sales conversation, it is so important to always let your customer know about the limitations of your program. And you might think that doesn't make sense. Why would I tell them what the limitations are? I'm only supposed to tell them how awesome this is. But the fact is, when you go into a sales conversation and you tell them the limitations and how you understand them and can help them through that, that only increases your sales conversions. And so I use the same principle there. And if you talk to the cast, like nobody really talked about that. It's more of the internet being like, oh, you can't trust her. She just said she cheated on her husband 20 years ago. But I didn't pick that up from any of the cast. I don't think anybody even thought about it after I stood up and shared with them the context. Don't forget about context with everything, you know, even with the guy that cuts you off at the stop sign, or you accidentally cut off and he screams at you. You don't understand the context as to which he is screaming at you. So when you're watching these reality shows, I do recommend you take into account we were 10, 11 strangers in a house without our families, completely surrounded by cameras. This becomes your whole life. Your perspective suddenly leaves. And so it's all about perspective. I personally enjoy being on the show. The edit left me has taught me so much, even about myself. Watching myself on TV has left me knowing so much, and it's just been a really cool experience. So back to sales. Here's a quick example before I let you go. Okay, a quick example. So for me, my main program, one of my main programs anyway, is called the Content That Converts program. This is a group coaching program where I give you videos, tell you exactly how to generate high quality clients online. People come into a coaching. Anyway, when I'm on a sales call with people, I only really accept people to that program who are a certain type. And I'll tell you, and I say this on sales calls, okay? Number one, in order to succeed online in your online business, you have to be okay with failing forward. If you do not like to fail and you don't want to be embarrassed online, you'll never make it, because the fact is you have to get better at posting, and the analytics and the information that comes from failing is actually how you get better. And so if people aren't in a fail forward faster mode, they're not going to like my program. Okay. And I tell them that because the last thing I want is someone in my programs that doesn't, won't succeed, because my success is your success. The second one is comfortable living outside your comfort zone. If you guys are a small business owner, tell me if you resonate with this, which is like, as a small business owner, you're constantly living outside your comfort zone. Now, in the Content That Converts program, the way that we really counteract always being outside your comfort zone, because you're online authentically sharing your sales stuff, like what you're selling, is we offer a step-by-step approach for that. It's just like when you go to the gym, it's easier to get up and go to the gym if you don't have to think about what to do at the gym. So when people come into the Content That Converts program, we have step-by-step. It doesn't matter how you feel about it, just take the steps. So do you see how I am sharing with you the limitations of my program, but I'm telling you how we're covering for them, and that in a sales call makes it so much more like you're trustworthy and you can close more, you build rapport, and it's just better customers. It's a win, 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 win. And then finally, okay, the third limitation of my program is you have to be somebody who's continually betting on yourself. In business, running your own online business, there's no room for blaming a coach, blaming a marketer, blaming a team, blaming your husband, blaming insert blank here. When you blame people, you give them your power, and it's already enough. It's already hard enough to run an online business, much less trying to force someone into doing something I want them to do, or trying to have control over a situation I don't have control over. Fact is, you have control over yourself. You're the head of the ship. You're the captain of the ship. You gain the most benefit from this business. And so you got to get rid of the blame across the board. No exceptions. I'm just going to leave it at that. No exceptions. And so see how I did that? I'm just giving you an example. So yeah, vulnerability. It's everything, you guys. It's, for me, vulnerability. I'll just say this about vulnerability. Vulnerability for me has really made my life that much more better. Okay. Being vulnerable with my kids and my husband and my customers and online and all these people has really improved my life. So it's a topic that I find very interesting and something that I'm really passionate about. So one announcement, and I probably should announce this up front. If you are looking for information on how to scale your online business with organic social media, make sure you get signed up for the Unlaunch Method workshop. We're on day 3, baby. So go to theunlaunchmethod.com and I'll see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. We'll see you next week. I'm always here live every single Wednesday at 10:15. Thank you so much. See ya.